Welcoming everyone, this is Julie Maxon, the Main Stamper. Welcome to Thursday at 3. This is a new time that I have set up into my schedule to connect with you to do some stamping, and it's going to be a fun afternoon time. I know that when I'm live on Monday, sometimes it's late. Schedules are crazy, right? You're watching it on replay, maybe you can't join me live, so this is just another chance for us to get together and do some really fun crafty things. Now my Thursdays at 3 new program is going to be about a half an hour, and it's going to be a quick half hour, right? We're going to cover a lot. Every Thursday is going to be something different. This first Thursday at 3, we're going to do a fun fold card, and this is our card. And you can kind of see from the back here, it's got like a little bit of a different profile. So if I open it up, it opens like this. And you can see that the base of this card is a square. And we are creating this to be a regular A2 size card. An A2 size card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now, this is a really easy fun fold too. I absolutely love easy fun folds. I don't want to do trigonometry while I'm creating paper crafts. I'm not sure about you. Maybe you like trigonometry. That's awesome. I like the quick and easy. And what I love about this card is that you can do this in any color cardstock with any paper and any stamps. It does not have to be a specific stamp set, specific dies, a certain punch. This is going to be great no matter what you choose to use to create this card. So I want to make sure you're saying hi as you jump on. Hi, Lori and Jess. So glad you guys are here with me live. This is so exciting. So as I mentioned, this is going to be quick. So let's get over to my workspace and we're going to talk about this amazing card. And we're going to talk a little bit about where did this card come from. Now I'm calling this the Easel Top Fun Fold card. And this is the PDF directions that you're getting in you got this in your email newsletter today. If you're on my email list, you're going to get a card recipe every week from me. You can print that or save it. And of course, this is the card that we're making. We're using the really gorgeous Enjoy the Journey Designer Series paper. Like I said, you can make these in any colors and with any cardstock. And I chose these two patterns because I thought they'd be really fun together. But I really also think this green one right here with this green one right here, these would be fun together. I mean, so obviously use what you have, but this happened to be some paper. This was probably the first paper I grabbed that I wanted to do something fun, bright, and bold. And this is actually a recreation of a couple of cards. So this was my very original, and this is old school. This is chocolate chip. And if anybody remembers chocolate chip brown, please in the comments give me a I love chocolate chip, because this was a great color and it retired. And we have a color refresh coming, and I hope it's coming back. This is chocolate chip, much nicer than early espresso. It's a nicer, chocolate. Oh, I love chocolate. Chocolate chip. This is chocolate chip. It's an old card. And this is where I got this design from though. So many, many, many years ago, I made this card, and when it opens, here's what the inside can look like. So you can decorate the inside, right? So cute. So I decided to recreate this card recently, and if you follow me on social, you may have seen my last in-person card class. We created the happy birthday card, and my stampers got to come to class in person, and they got to choose a color. Purple was very popular, sold out very quickly, but we created this card. So you can kind of see the transition, right? So I went from cake to cake. I love the cake. And then this time, so I'm switching it up. Again, different paper. I mean, obviously we're going with Melon Mambo. I'm very happy with pink right now. Melon Mambo. Our card today has pumpkin pie. This one has the mango melody. But you can see completely different stamps, paper, all of the good things, right? So let's talk a little bit about how easy it is to make this card. Now, of course, if you have your recipe at home, you're good to go. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of walk you through it here. I'm not going to leave you hanging. So our card base, this part right here, that's going to open up, is going to be a piece of cardstock that you're going to cut 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4. So you're basically making a square, and it's going to open this way. It's going to open in that portrait position. Okay, and then we're going to add a lot of layers. Now the first layer that you can add is going to be 4 by 4, right? Because 4 by 4 is the next matted size down. And if you want to cut an inside layer for the inside, do a 4 by 4 there as well. So we're going to just start gluing some layers together. Now what I love about this card, besides the fact that you can use any color cardstock and any designer paper, is that it has a ton of layers, and I love layers. I love cards with a lot of layers. There's layer 1, and then we're going to add a designer paper layer. Oh, I want to just flip to look, but we're using this fun size right here. So your next layer down, right, you're going to have 3 layers on the base. This is layer number 3 for the base. This is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So again, we're just matting it. And how pretty, I love the matting, right? So now we've matted all of that. That's our card base. That's simple. Now we're going to create the matting layer for this part up here that kind of makes it the easel top. And for that, I'm bringing in, again, so when I create these cards, my first layer on that card base is also my first layer that's going to be here. So I'm using matching. Now you don't have to match if you don't want to. That's fine. We're not actually putting this on here yet. I just wanted to show you where that's going to go. This is called the easel top layer 1. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And we are going to put, again, so we're kind of going same pattern. Like we've got melon mambo, we've got pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie right here. Easel top layer 2 is a 3 by 4. And then we're coming in with a designer series paper, easel top layer 3, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, right? So again, we're just making that nice little layering. So right, we've got layer for our base, layer for our easel top. These are going to go together, but we're not going to just willy-nilly put them together. We want this to actually be the correct size. Now I have added in sentiment layering pieces. So you can see on the bottom, I have a sentiment. You don't have to do this. This could be optional. On my very original card that's really old school, I actually just used plain cardstock. I didn't use designer paper, and I embossed that with some heat embossing. So there's some more ideas for you too, right? But I do like the idea really of having a little sentiment layer here on the bottom. This one is decorative, of course, and I'm just going to, because we're making the card here without this on the bottom, our background paper right here, sentiment layer 1 is 0.75, so 3/4 inch by 3 3/4. And we're going to top this over with a 1/2 inch paper of white by 3 inches. So again, we're just getting those nice little matted layers. Now you'll notice that this is the same width as this one, right? So they match up nicely. All right, I got all my layers. Now in your card recipe, I only gave you the directions for the layers. And then I said decorative elements as desired. So I didn't measure out like you're gonna need a piece of paper for this and a piece of paper for this. And you're gonna decorate yours however you want. So I really just gave you the bones of the card. So you have the bone recipe, right? So you're good to go there. Now let's talk about what we're going to use on this card. This is amazing. I love this bundle. I've been playing with it all week. Sentimental Park. I've got the stamp set here, and I have the dies. So this is part of my card class for the week. So we made these cards during my weekly class on Monday. So again, Sentimental Park. It's been a really fun card. And I wanted to grab out one of these just to show you. So A2 size card, right? If you turn them over, this is the same footprint as the A2 size card. So, which is really cool. All right, put that one back there, put that one back there. So we're gonna just go ahead and do a little bit of stamping. I did do some die cutting already. So I'm using the smaller little label here to get this label. And I already die cut one because I don't wanna have to, take up too much time. So here is my little die cut label. We're gonna stamp on that. But I do wanna stamp leaves and flowers with you because I didn't cover that on Monday. There's always so much to cover. So I wanted to do a little bit of stamping with you now, besides just the fun assembly part, right? So I've got Let's Celebrate You, as you can see here in my sample, and I'm going to bring my tag in, make sure it's right side up with the stitching, and I'm going to put the Let's Celebrate quite close to the top. Okay, so we've got Let's Celebrate, because I want to fit you in here too. And here comes you. Let's celebrate you. And there we have it. It fits on there just perfectly, and that's in Melon Mambo. So I'm keeping the colors, of my ink similar to my cardstock. Now we're going to do flowers and leaves because these are fantastic. So we are going to do Granny Apple Green. We're going with the brights here today. Nice bright colors. So let me set that up here, and we're going to do a couple of leaves. Now there's 2 stamps here. Yours may not come with dog hair like mine have, but there's 2 stamps here. One is an outline and one is the inner. So this is 2-step stamping, which is really nice. So we're just going to ink this up. And I can't remember if I wanted to put this one on here or here. You're just gonna need scrap paper, right? And I'm gonna actually stamp this twice because I need 2 of these. So we're gonna go this way, and I'm gonna fit these on here. I have a big bin of white scraps that I just constantly pull from. So you're gonna see here the outline stamp, right? So the leaves are not colored in. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in our filler stamp, and we're gonna stamp this off over here because I want it to be lighter when I match this up, and they're photopolymer so you can match them up nicely. And look at the difference. How cool is that, right? So you've got a nice light green in the middle there. I like two-step stamping for this reason, because it's also quick and easy. You just have to line them up. And it's really nice because if they don't line up perfectly, it's really okay, because we're going to be die cutting these. So it's going to take away some of the imperfection. Of course, that's on upside down. The die cut actually goes just like that. So you'd have to run this through twice. There's only one of these little leaf dies, and when they come out, they look just like this. So they're beautiful and they're nice and springy for our card. Let's cover up Granny Apple and let's talk about the flowers, which we're going to do in Pumpkin Pie. Now I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the flowers really quickly, because again, we're doing two-step stamping. So you've got the outline and then you've got the inner flower. And I wanted to show you that the images, they also have the images here on the inside of the stamp case. Move that out of the way. So if you put these away, when you put these away, I should say, not if, you will put these away. You're going to line up your stamp to match the outline here. And the reason you want to do that when you have two-step stamping is these are actually oriented correctly. This is the top of this one, which is going to go into the top of this one. So that when you mount them on your stamp sets, if you pay attention to what's the top, you're not going to be turning this around and around going, where does this match up to this one? So you just have to remember which one is the top. And to do that, you can use, use a little Post-it note, right? Take some little Post-it notes and just kind of put them on your block, so that when you mount them, you know, okay, this is up, this is up. It's not going to disturb your stamping. You're going to know, okay, this side up on both of them. If you're not, not sure once you get them on a block, which side is up. So that's a little trick on that. Now we're going to do, again, two-step stamping. This is Pumpkin Pie, and we're going to do the outline first. And we're going to need 3 of these. And I love how pretty these flowers are. So I'm just going to stamp 3, 1, 2, 3, because that's the outline. And we're going to do the same thing with the inside. We're going to stamp off, and we're going to line that up and stamp. Oh, look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. And when you line them up, it's like magical, right? When you line them up properly, it's like, oh my gosh. I don't always line everything up evenly either, just so you know. I happen to be doing a pretty good job today. I'm really impressed. So that is how beautiful these little, aren't they just adorable? These little flowers are. Now again, I die cut mine earlier, so here we have them. And to be honest, this one's off a little bit, but you don't really notice it as much because it's just pretty, right? So there's our 3 little orange flowers. I have those die cut and ready for our card, so we don't have to run them through the machine, but you would definitely be doing that. So let's talk about how we're going to make this into an A2 size card, right? So if you have grid paper, it's fantastic. You definitely want to use this. We're going to, so again, I'm going to just use this one as an example. And this is the back of this card, just in case you're watching and you saw my live. I made this card, but before I made this card, I was playing with the stamps in the stamp set. And I made this, but I put it on the back because I wasn't really sure I was going in that direction. So fun facts, right? When you line this up down here on the bottom, you can see your A2 size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Right, so we know this. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up our base. We're going to make sure, first of all, we have it going in the right direction, because the top is coming on. We want to open it the right way, right? So we've got 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So hopefully you can see that, right? It's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now this part right here, I want this to be 5 1/2 inches tall. So right here is my 5 1/2 inches. So I'm going to use my grid line right here. And I'm also going to line this up, and it might be hard to see, but there's actually 2, I'm going to kind of highlight here. There's 2 rows right here, 2 of these grids on either side. I don't know if you can see that or not. It might not show up on camera. Maybe we'll go with a Sharpie. I like to do different things, right? Here we go, Sharpie. So now you can see there's 2 grid lines on either side. Hopefully you can see that now, right? And if you have grid paper, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to line it up so it's at 5 1/2. 2 grid lines on either side is going to be evenly spaced side to side. And now we're going to bring in our adhesive. Now I have my Tombow glue here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I'm going to put my fingers down here. This is my super trick, right? I'm going to put my fingers right about here. So I know this is where I want my glue to go. And I'm going to pick this up. And I still know that I want my glue to go here. And I'm just going to come up here, and I'm just going to kind of make a little rectangle. I'm going to come kind of close to the top, because I want to make sure the topper is going to be attached nicely. Now that, of course, moves a little bit, so reposition if needed. Now hold the top down onto your grid paper, find your 5.5 side by side, right? So you can see right here that I don't have this, this isn't touching anything yet. Once you have it lined up properly, go ahead and put it down. With the glue, you have that little bit of wiggle room, which is really nice. So I'm just kind of making sure everything here is correct. 2 on each side. We're at 5.5. It looks good and even. And I'm just going to press this down, right? And when I flip it over, there should be no glue seeping out the top here. And because if it does, it's going to obviously be sticky. But here is my A2 size card, and you're going to get that perfect card base for the right size every time, right? So it's A2 size, just like that. Perfect, right? So that is my handy tricks on that. Now, what happens, you say, what happens, Julie, if I don't have this grid paper? First of all, of course, you can buy grid paper. I love my grid paper. But let's say you have a white piece of paper, because maybe you have some typewriter paper that you can make a little pattern on, right? So what I did here was I put a card on this paper. I outlined it with a pencil very carefully. I came back in with my Sharpie marker and my ruler, and I just made black lines. And then I highlighted the top here with a little bit of yellow. And why did I do that? Why I did that because if I put this over top, I may not know, you know, where, if I can't see this line. I thought, you know, I want this extra yellow here to be like this. Don't go off into the yellow, right? So you can line your card up and you can get your A2 size card by just cheating on a piece of scrap paper. So I wanted to share that with you too. I try to share all kinds of good little tips here. All right, let's decorate this little card up and we'll call it good, right? I'm going to actually go ahead and glue down my little sentiment piece here too. And this is just going to layer right here in the middle. And of course you can choose to not use that if you don't want to, or do something completely different. You can be all rogue if you want. Now these little dies, so I did die cut with the leaf, and I did die cut with the big open flower there. I'm gonna just choose to put these on here. Let me bring in my sample card again so we can see where I'm going. So I'm just gonna go this way and this way, because I just love these little sprig-like type looks. And you can get that with even just a plain little stem and flower type thing. So I'm going to just make sure I have them about where I'm going to want them. And you know I love me some good tear and tape. I just have to find it. Okay, here we go, tear and tape. So I like to dry fit. So I put my things down, dry fit a little bit. And once I've dry fit, I'm going to come in. I'm just securing them right now. So they're a little loosey-goosey, right? So we can actually lift these up a little bit and put just a tiny bit of glue underneath that's going to catch those 2 leaves and hold them down nicely. And then we're going to do the same thing here. I might actually turn this way a little bit. So a little bit of glue underneath where each leaf is going to stay. And that helps to secure them down. So they're just a little bit flatter on there. Okay, now I can come in and put on my Let's Celebrate You. And of course I'm going to use some dimensionals. And well, we're going to use some more scraps. If you watched me on Monday, I was using scraps up with the hopes that I would be able to get out a new pack of dimensionals, and I am so close. So we're just going to use up some scraps here and get those on there because we want to have a little bit of dimensional here. Now, of course, you can put some ribbon underneath here. You can decorate up however you want. I liked that this particular sentiment piece fits so nicely. I mean, just the size of it is perfect for this width. Obviously, so there are bigger sentiment type dies in this set. And if you're using completely different dies at home, you want to make sure you're not going to be too, you want to make sure your size is going to fit. This would be too outrageously large, I think. But that's just how I'm going with that. Now we're going to put some flowers up here. And I was thinking about maybe changing this just slightly and putting 2 on the bottom and 1 on the top, because I like to change things up a little bit here and there, right? So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to just put 1 up here, and I'm going to put 2 down here. And you also may notice there's a little bit of a difference in my flowers because I actually, and I'll show you at the end, I'll lift it up, I colored the centers of these with Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend because I thought maybe they needed a little extra color. And then I got done coloring them and I wasn't sure if I liked them. So it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I don't know. So I'll lift these up a little bit. So the left one has yellow centers, the right one does not. I think I'm going to leave them uncolored. I think I like that little extra white. It's brighter than this one. Now, in this fun die set, there are these tiny little flower dies. There's 2 of them. So I was able to, if I can get them over here, let me move these over. I have a ton of them. I did a whole bunch of them. Cute little ones, right? So I did some, of course, in melon, and I did some in the pumpkin, and they're all like upside down and backwards right now. I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool, because we're just going to, first of all, we're just going to place them on here. So I want to see where they may end up. So again, just kind of a dry fit. Have a little play with what you got, so you can make sure, you know, you have the right amount of however many you want on here. You can move them around. You know, if you don't want them right next to each other like pink and orange, change them up a little bit. What are you guys thinking about pink and orange? I never had thought pink and orange like was such a big thing until I met some pink and orange fans and started playing with pink and orange. And I'm like, oh, wow. It's kind of awesome. All right, so once you have your design figured out and you really like where you're going with it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick one up and put down a little drop of glue, and then I'm going to put that back on there just like that, and repeating. So I'm not ambidextrous, in case you're looking at me and going, holy smokes. This little putty end just makes it so much easier though to pick things up and move them around. So we're just going to do this for a quick couple of seconds here, because it's really not going to take too long. And oh, I do have one other option that I can show you here. Just as I'm finishing up, I'm going to bring in another idea for you, because I like to share all kinds of different things. It's just a really fun and bright card. I really like this one. And it's an easy fun fold. So I feel like you should be able to scribble down those notes. If you don't have my PDF tutorial, if you want to be on my email list, let me know, or go to my blog, The Main Stamper. You can sign up for my emails there. I send out weekly newsletters on Thursday. Those are the ones that have my tutorials in them. So there we go. Oh, bling. Bling, bling, bling. Let's add some bling, right? The bling makes everything shiny and pretty. And I just brought in some basic rhinestones. We don't have to go too crazy, right? So we're going to put some bling on here. Oh, I love it. Love it. Now, of course, I didn't decorate the inside, so I don't have the inside decorated for you. But I do want to show you one other option. And I was playing around with this. So instead of doing the Let's Celebrate You, I did Let's Celebrate. So let's pretend this is on my card like this, right? Let's celebrate. And then if you don't want the flowers on the bottom, we have an option where you can just put the U here. And then, of course, you could come back in. This was my first thought, right? When I first started designing this card, I was like, oh, that would be cute. I'll just bring some flowers in down here around the U. And then I thought, well, I'm not sure. So, yeah. I would probably mix up my oranges and pinks a little bit better, but I just wanted to show you like an idea of how you can change this up. So you can use the sentiment top and bottom if you decide that's what you want to do. How awesome and fun is this fun fold card, right? I just think this is the most fun. So I'm going to just pop back over here and check on, I'm trying to, there we go. Check on. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kathy. So happy to see you here. So I hope you guys are enjoying this this quick Thursday at 3. So this was always meant to be Thursday at 3, a quick and easy card, something that's fun, something that's fabulous. I really like this one, and I wanted to show you the journey of how I got to the card that I was sharing with you today. So that is it for me, Thursday at 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back and see me next Thursday. And if you're watching replay, or if you're watching on YouTube, hey everybody, really appreciate you checking out this fun video. Leave me some comments so I can see what you think. And Jess says she loves chocolate chip. I know, I loved it too. Maybe it's coming back in a couple weeks. Wouldn't that be amazing if they brought chocolate chip back? I would be so excited. All right, we're going to find out soon together. So thank you so much. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.